My name is Jake Sumner. I, like most of you guys and most of America, I have an addiction. An addiction to this thing right here, this little screen. Think about the last time you were sitting at the doctor's or standing in line at the store. If you're like me, the first thing you did was pull out your phone. We've become a society that's scared of a free moment. We're scared of a moment of nothingness. We've become a culture that's afraid of being alone with our thoughts, and we treat a free moment like a problem that needs to be solved by our phone. As a kid that's grown up in this digital age, I've realized how rarely I sit with my own thoughts. And when I do sit with my own thoughts, that's when I actually come up with my good ideas. I've also realized that even when I do nothing for a whole day, I still feel mentally fatigued just from looking at my phone. And after researching the mental and psychological benefits of being bored, I realized that using our phones to cure our boredom might actually be killing our potential. While modern society views boredom as a problem that needs a cure, embracing boredom is essential because it sparks creativity, reduces mental fatigue, and leads to a higher level of functioning. Today I'm going to discuss why we need to put the phones down and embrace moments of boredom. First, I'm going to discuss how constant connection to our phones prevents our brains from functioning deeply and functioning the way they're supposed to. Then, I'm going to go over research about how boredom triggers original ideas in our minds. And finally, I'll explain how intentional boredom reduces our mental fatigue and protects our mental health. Let's begin by looking at the main culprit behind our lack of mental downtime, our cell phone. So constantly being online and constantly being on our phones has created a culture where nobody's ever bored, and this prevents our brain from actually thinking and doing what it's supposed to do. We use our phones to fill every single moment of our lives. In the car, you listen to music in the car, you listen to music in the shower, you're scrolling on your phone before bed, you name it. This creates a constant stream of low-level stimulation, and this has a direct impact on our mental well-being. According to an article published in the Harvard Business Review on August 28, 2025, if you pull out your phone every single time you're bored, it becomes harder to find meaning in your life because you're constantly filled up with this meaningless connection to your phone. This article warns that constantly filling this void is a recipe for a sense of hollowness, and this contributes to the higher rates of depression and anxiety that we see today in our world. Staying off the phone may be hard, but that discomfort is just the starting line for your imagination. Research shows that when we allow our minds to be bored, they begin to generate original ideas. When we aren't consuming something else, our brain switches to what scientists call the default mode network. The most common time we enter this mode is in the shower, which is why there's shower thoughts. You think of your best things in the shower. Dr. Ashok Shashrati from the Mayo Clinic Health System in September 2022 wrote an article that explained why we get our best ideas in the shower. He notes that because our bodies are engaged in a mindless task and our minds are free to wander, we're finally able to solve the problems we've been dealing with. Beyond just being more creative, giving our break is a fundamental requirement for our mental health. Being bored is good for our mental health, and it significantly reduces our mental fatigue. We usually think of boredom as tiring, but it's actually the rest that our brain is screaming for. Allison Pigeon, a licensed counselor, stated in a June 2021 article that boredom actually motivates us. She notes that when you are bored, you want to change being bored, and it motivates you to go and make that change. Now, some people may argue that chronic boredom can lead to bad behavior and can lead to destructive life patterns. And now I agree with this, that chronic, unintentional boredom is a very negative thing, but I'm advocating for a moment of intentional boredom. It's about taking a meaningful, purposeful pause from life rather than letting life feel empty. It's a tool and not a lifestyle. As we've seen, the boredom that we run from is actually what we need to stay healthy and creative. So today, we've explored how our addiction to stimulation prevents our brain from deep thought, how boredom is a tool to make our best ideas, and how mental pauses are vital for our mental health. I want to challenge you today. When you have a free moment and you're alone, don't take out your phone. Take 15 minutes out of your day and just do nothing. Let your mind wander and see where it takes you. Don't be afraid of your mind. The most interesting voice is the one inside your head, but you'll never hear it if you don't listen to other people's. Thank you guys. Are there any questions?
No.
Right here. You have a question?
No. Yes, I do.
You going?
Yeah. So, not really. The older generation, you were talking about, you cited how you listen to your phone in the shower.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so younger people actually do that. And then you were talking about another thing. I was thinking of the three things you said. The only time I listen to and you said in the bed before sleep. I don't do that. So the only time I do it is like in the car. So I wonder if this is generational.
Yeah, I mean, we're just growing up with, constantly being on our phones, and then the shower is like the most important time because that's when you can actually come up with ideas, but then we're taking that time or just filling it. And that's what a lot of the new, younger generation is doing. We're just filling every single moment of our lives, and we're not allowing our brains to think at all. So anyone else? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, I don't listen to my phone in the shower, but that's interesting. Yeah. How times have changed.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the best way to limit being on your phone if it's such a negative thing?
Well, it's not always a negative thing, but I just say the negative is just being on it constantly all day and not allowing. So, I mean, like I said, I would just challenge you guys, just take 15 minutes and see what happens and see if you're at more peace. Anyone else? That's all. Thank you guys.